On any street, in almost any major city, you'll see them. Apple's jewel, the iPhone, 10 years since this from founder Steve Jobs.
Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.
A decade old, a billion sold, and counting. From finding a ride, to finding a route, to finding a date. It is effectively a digital concierge. But whoa, hang on a second. There are loads of phones out there that do that kind of stuff and probably have done for just as long. So the question here, what is so special about an iPhone?
This really opened the floodgates for everybody to participate.
That's Juan's verdict, cell phone reviewer for top tech site Pocket Now.
They basically toppled BlackBerry and Nokia, who were the respective leaders, right? And they just decimated them completely.
Absolutely. Any player that was in the market before the iPhone arrived completely underestimated consumer demand. These were all business devices, corporate devices. Apple's great victory was taking the edges off of all of these scary, sciencey, nerdy technologies and polishing it up in a way that most people could interact with and make it desirable.
Another achievement, helping selfie become an actual word in the dictionary. Of course, people took photographs of themselves before, but the iPhone brought front-facing cameras to a mass audience.
Is the iPhone responsible for Kim Kardashian?
Well, it certainly helped.
And speaking of cameras, how's this for ironic? Even though these things are sold as multimedia devices, when the first iPhone was released, you couldn't record a single frame of video footage on it, even though other phones at the time did allow you to do so. How times have changed. Nowadays, this place seeing full-length feature films being shot solely on these devices.
You must promise me that there's not going to be any drama. I promise, I promise.
Tangerine, the first, a gritty urban look at life for two transsexual friends in LA, shot entirely on an iPhone.
This is the most expensive art, and up to this point, people have simply not had this opportunity if they haven't had the means to do so. So I think it just democratizes filmmaking in many ways.
But the iPhone hasn't all been life through a perfect lens, from complaints about conditions for workers on the production line to being overtaken by Google's Android as the most used mobile operating system, and a struggle to achieve dominance in the world's biggest smartphone market, China.
There are a bunch of domestic phones that kind of flood the market. You can get the basic functionality. You don't need to shell out, and the price gap is huge.
That said, the iPhone helped make Apple the world's most valuable company and kickstarted a billion-dollar app industry, which Apple never even wanted at first.
Steve Jobs originally was steadfast that there was not going to be an app store.
Just ask any iPhone historian, and yes, they are a thing, like the author of this new book, which Apple is not thrilled about at all.
If Steve Jobs alone had his way, there might not even be an iPhone. He had to be pushed and pressured and get demonstrations of what this technology could do every step of the way.
So the big question, what's next? A self-driving car? Well, Google and Uber are ahead on that, but rumor is Apple wants in on the tech. And here's another thought.
We're in the post-PC era, we're in the mobile era. I think we're quickly approaching that post-smartphone era.
And who knows what that will look like. Check back in 2027. Phil Lavelle, CGTN, Los Angeles.